Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a good one prepared today. What we'll be doing is we'll be looking at all of our NFL games for week 12 of the 2024 NFL football season. This is our quick picks. We're going to quickly run through every single matchup, break down the teams, and try to predict the outcome. Who's going to win, lose, what the final score will be. We'll also touch on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and I will respond. Now, we did have a similar video come up yesterday, but there was actually an issue with the sound, so I redid the entire video. We're posting it today, so we have the new one up right now, and also later today we'll have that best bets coming up like we do every week, where we touch on the money lines, the spreads, and the over-unders for all of these games. Every week we go over every single NFL game. We also do the same thing for every college football game as well, the top 25, the non-top 25 ones. If you're a football fan, if you're a college football fan, NFL fan, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe so you can follow along with us this season. But let's go ahead and get started running through these games. We got a lot of good ones. There's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of guys coming back to play. Kicking things off Sunday morning at 1 p.m. on Fox, the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings versus the 4-6 Chicago Bears. Right now the Vikings 59% chance to win this game, 3-point favorites. The over-under here is 39.5. The Vikings offense has kind of sputtered the last few weeks, but it's still playing much improved over last season. Sam Darnold, a couple turnovers the last few games, but overall having a really good start to the 2024 season, closing in on 2,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. He's got to keep the turnovers down right now. They're averaging 24.4, giving up 17 points a game. Still one of the best rounded teams, one of the best rush defenses in the NFL, only giving up 74.4 yards per game. Chicago, they're averaging 19.4. They're giving up 18.7. They have a top 10 national defense, but the biggest issue for them is getting their offense to punch the ball in the red zone. The offensive line has to step up. They have to buy Caleb Williams some time, but he also needs to get rid of the ball. They do have a lot of playmakers. Swift, Odunze, Moore, get the ball out, hold the lineup, establish the run game at the line of scrimmage. For Minnesota, Jones, quite possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL, Jefferson. I have Minnesota getting things back on track here, continuing to play, winning this one 22-17, but Chicago is one of those teams that is due for a win at some point. I just don't have it coming this week. And the next game we're going to look at 1 p.m. on Fox, 9-1 Detroit Lions versus 5-6 Colts. Right now the Lions have a 73.4% chance to win this game. They are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under here is 50.5. For the Lions, they're averaging 33.6. They might be the best team in the NFL by a long shot right now. They average 33.6. They throw for 243. They run for 152. They're only giving up 17.7 points a game with their best defensive player out. Only 94 yards given up on the ground. Goff is lighting things up, getting back to 2023 form. And for the Colts, they average 21.5. They gave up 22.7. They're going to be rolling with Richardson, who actually had a pretty good game this past weekend. Overall, though, still very inaccurate with the ball. For the Lions, Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, multiple weapons, multiple ways they can beat you. Throwing the ball, running the ball. They can beat you with their defense. I have the Lions continuing the roll. They are due for a loss soon. I just don't have it coming right now. This is a really good team, the best rounded team in the NFL. They win this one 34-20 and continue to put up big points. Then our next matchup on Fox at 1 p.m., 3-7 Dallas Cowboys versus the 7-4 Washington Commanders. Two teams going in completely different directions. The Dallas Cowboys are decimated. They lost Dak for the season. Even with him, they were having issues. Their strength used to be running the ball, their O-line, their defense. All three of those things very bad this season. They're actually their weaknesses. Right now, the Commanders, 77% chance to win this game, 10.5-point favorites. Over-unders 45 points. Dallas, they only come into this game. They're only averaging 18.7 points a game and giving up 29.3 points per game. That is atrocious. Second worst statistical defense in the NFL. They're only running for 81 yards. That's really bad. Dowdle not at all controlling the ground game. For Washington, they're averaging 28 points a game, throwing for 219, running for 148, giving up 22.1. They have Daniels. He might be the rookie of the year this season. They have Brian Robinson Jr., Terry, multiple weapons, and their offense can carry this game, and Dallas can't stop anyone. I have Washington winning this 30-17. And our next matchup is the defending champs at 1 p.m. on CBS. The 9-1 Kansas City Chiefs coming off their first loss to the Bills. We did have them losing to the Bills. They'll be playing the 3-7 Carolina Panthers. Right now, the Chiefs have a 77.4% chance to win this game. They are 11-point favorites. The over-under here is 42.5. They have to get their offense back on track. They live off the turnover. Their defense always gives in the short field. If they don't force turnovers, they have to figure out a way to drive the length of the field. They are averaging 24 points a game, throwing for 227, running for 111, and they're getting a lot of their weapons back. Their offense will be much improved, especially in the ground game, but they're only giving up 19.1 points a game. What's going to carry this team is that defense, that defensive line. They only give up 85 yards rushing. And for the Panthers, they're one of the bottom teams in the NFL, but Bryce Young has recently played better. They're averaging 16.7. They are giving up 31 points a game, which is the worst defense in the NFL. Look for the Chiefs to get that offense clicking here. They win this one 28-13, and they do generate quite a bit of turnovers. And then at 1 p.m. on CBS, 2-8 Tennessee Titans versus 7-4 Houston Texans. Right now, Houston's 78.7% chance to win this game, 8.5-point favorites. The over-under is 41.5. Tennessee, they've been playing a little better, a little competitive. Levis, Rudolph, doesn't really matter who plays. They still have issues punching the ball in. They're averaging 17 points a game, giving up 26.3, but they actually only give up 280 yards on the defensive side. It's the fact that they have a lot of turnovers on their own side of the field. They got to keep the turnovers down. And for Houston, they're averaging 23.5. They're giving up 21.5. They did lose Diggs for the season, but Nico Collins should be fully healthy. That's a complete game changer here. He can light things up passing. Stroud should get that passing game back on track. I have the Texans winning this one 24-17. And then at 1 p.m. on CBS, 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 2-8 New York Giants. Right now, Tampa Bay 69.9% chance to win this game, 5.5-point favorites. Over here's 41.5. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, the leading NFL passer. He lost Godwin. He lost Evans. Evans should be coming back soon. Godwin's out for the season. That was your two veteran wide receivers. Yet still, they've been able to move the ball. He's closing in on 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks. They're averaging 27.9, giving up 26.4. They have Irving. Hopefully Evans comes back for the Giants. They're no longer going with Daniel Jones. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off. You have to move forward. Tommy DeVito did light their offense up last season, so maybe he can spark something here. They are only averaging 15.6. They're giving up 22.2. They do have a pretty good defense. Tampa Bay, though, their last couple losses have all been one-possession losses. They're finally due to get over that hurdle. They should have Evans back. I have Tampa Bay winning this one, 26-20. Baker Mayfield continues to put up numbers even without his primary weapons. And then on CBS at 1 p.m., the 3-8 New England Patriots versus the 4-6 Miami Dolphins. Miami with Tua, they're riding a 2-game winning streak. They finally got the offense going. Tua, don't do anything to get a concussion. Don't run the ball. Don't try to tackle people. They have a 67.3% chance to win this game, 7-point favorites. Over here is 46 points. Right now, the Patriots, Drake May, playing better. They're averaging 16.5 points a game, giving up 22.5. But Miami, they're averaging 18.1. That number's a little lower just for those 4 games that Tua didn't play. But we know that their offense can definitely move the ball. Hill, Waddle, Berrios, Beckham, Mostert, option, multiple weapons. One of the best offensive rosters. They are giving up 22.1 points a game. This is a game that you have to watch because the Patriots defense could potentially make this game competitive. But I have Miami continuing to stay hot, slowly chipping their way back to 500. They win this one 28-20. And the next game we're going to look at on CBS at 4:05 p.m., we have the 6-5 Denver Broncos versus the 2-8 Las Vegas Raiders. Right now, the Broncos have a 55.2% chance to win this game, 5.5-point favorites. The over-under here is 41 points. Looking at the Denver Broncos, props to Sean Payton, props to Bo Nix. This is a completely different team than when they first started. Those first 2 weeks, Bo Nix was looking pretty bad. Since then, they're playing and coaching to his strengths. Short, dink and dunk, accurate passes. Roll the pocket out. Always give him the option to be able to scramble. When you look at the Raiders, there's really not much of anything that they're really good at. They're only averaging 18.7 points a game. They're only running for 75 yards per game. They are giving up 28.5 points per game. That's a bottom 3 defense in the NFL. For Denver, they're averaging 21.4. They only give up 16.6 points a game. This is a top 10, top 5 NFL defense. Whenever you have a defense playing that well, that's going to keep you in any game. Right now, the Denver Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. Like I said, this is going to be a good game. The Raiders are due to get a win, but as long as Denver's defense is playing that well, I have Denver winning this one in a close one on the road, 23-20. And then our next matchup at 4:25 p.m. on Fox, we have the 5-5 San Francisco 49ers versus the 7-3 Green Bay Packers. San Francisco was just a slight underdog here previously. There's been some big news coming out. Right now, the Packers have a 54.4% chance to win this game. They are 5.5-point favorites. The spread has jumped up because Brock Purdy is not going to be playing this game. That is a massive loss for the 49ers. That's their starting quarterback. The over in here is 45.5. Right now, San Francisco, they're averaging 25 points a game, giving up 22.2. Green Bay, they're averaging 25 a game as well. They have the better defense right now, giving up 21.3. Purdy was having a pretty decent season. The 49ers, when they're healthy, are probably the best top-to-bottom roster in the NFL, but the key there is when they're healthy. They have yet to be healthy the whole season. Jennings has really been stepping up big at the wide receiver position, but they've been down. Ayuk at time, Debo, Kittle, multiple guys have been down. They have yet to put their full team on the field. And when you look at the Packers, as long as Jordan Love plays a clean game, he does have turnover problems, but they obviously have the healthier team right now. Jacobs, Reed. I originally had the 49ers getting the win, but with Purdy going down, I have to go with the Packers now to win this one. I have them winning it 28-20. And our next matchup on Fox at 4:25 p.m., the 6-4 Arizona Cardinals versus the 5-5 Seattle Seahawks. Right now, the Cardinals 53.7% chance to win this one, but you have Arizona coming in now. This game previously, the Seahawks were 1-point favorites. I had the Cardinals winning this one. Now you see the spread has moved. Now actually the Cardinals are 1-point favorites. The over-under here is 47.5 for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray having a great season so far. They are very Jekyll and Hyde, but so are Seattle. They have a great game, and then they have a shaky game, but no matter what, the Cardinals are overall having a really solid season. They're averaging 23.8. They're giving up 22 points a game. And their pass rush, which was their major weakness, they're much better there. They have Connor, McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. when they're all healthy. And for Seattle, Geno Smith has just as many touchdowns as picks. They have to play a clean game in order to win this one. When they play a clean game, very competitive team. When not, they have a lot of turnovers. They give up a lot of points right now. They have Walker III. They have Smith. They don't have a bad squad. They are the NFL's leading passing team. They average 23 points a game. They give up 23.8. But I have the Cardinals too much firepower on offense, but this game could easily turn into a shootout. I have the Cardinals winning this one 28-24. And then our second to last game, but our final Sunday night game at 8:20 p.m. on NBC. The 8-2 Philadelphia Eagles, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, versus the 5-5 LA Rams. Right now, the Eagles have a 59.7% chance to win this game. They are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 49.5. The Eagles, since the second half of last season, they had turnover problems. They've been playing clean football, though, probably the last 7 to 8 games so far this season, and their defense has really turned into a playoff caliber defense. They're averaging 25.7. They're only giving up 17.9, but they're throwing for 199. They're running for 181.3 yards, the leading rushing team in the NFL. For the Rams, when they're healthy, they have a really good roster. Atwell, Williams, Nakua, Cooper Kupp, and they have the veteran Stafford. They're averaging 21.3, giving up 23.9. This game could easily turn into a shootout. The key here, Saquon Barkley, the run game of the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Smith. I have the Eagles winning a close one, but this game could honestly go either way. Both teams can score, but the Eagles pull it out 24-21. And then our final game, the Monday night game at 8:15 p.m. on ESPN. 7-4 Baltimore Ravens versus 7-3 LA Chargers. The Ravens are coming off of that loss to the Steelers. If there's a team that's similar to the Steelers, it's going to be the LA Chargers. Tomlin, Harbaugh, they both play special teams. They run the ball. They play extremely good defense. And right now, the Chargers actually have the number one statistical defense in the NFL, but the Ravens, they have a 60.2% chance to win this game, 3-point favorites. The over-under here is 50.5. The Ravens have the number 2 offense in the NFL. They're averaging 30.4. They're throwing for 253. They're running for 173. They're giving up 24.6 points a game. Their primary weakness, they have the worst secondary in the NFL, giving up 285 passing yards per game. But one of the best rush defenses, only giving up 77.5 rushing yards. So you can throw all over them, but you cannot run on them. And their roster's loaded. Lamar Jackson having another MVP caliber season. This guy has 27 total touchdowns. They have Derrick Henry closing in on 1,200 yards. Flowers, Andrews likely. But the Chargers, Herbert starting to open up that passing game. The passing game helps the running game. The running game helps the play action. They both work together. And they have the best defense in the nation right now, only giving up 14.5 points a game. They're averaging 22 points a game. They have J.K. Dobbins. Expect a steady dose of Dobbins. Ladd McConkey's really stepped up big in the receiving game. This game could go either way. I could see whoever has the ball the most in the fourth quarter being able to dominate the time of possession here, win this game. I'm going to go Chargers getting the upset. They might mimic the Steelers, but maybe the Ravens will be prepared for that also. I have the Chargers winning here 24-20, but this game's also a 50-50. So that's our quick picks for all of our Week 12 NFL matchups. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any comments, please drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.